Hey guys. So for the time being, it's a temporary thing. I'm sure it'll look like crap on Friday, but uh, we've got huge, huge, different. I mean, I actually moved some of the boxes. I think I moved two boxes. There was a box like that, and there was like a smaller box like that, and I just moved them over down by the other baler. Over there's like a whole bunch of smaller boxes over there. I don't know if someone they brought down lab and like Kevin did it or something, but there's like just a bunch of like actually can I yeah, a bunch of like smaller boxes like these. They're just there's like six or seven of them. So because they'll bring down lab in these boxes. Sometimes they just put them on top of these big pallets, and but there's like six of them. I'm like, did they bring down lab? I guess, but because of these boxes and the way they have nowhere to put it, you know, like like I've said, everything has its own place. This right here, this lane right there, is for the lint. This area right here is for the lab. This right here, even though it's clean right now, they put shit here sometimes, but this leads up to the pipe. This red line, this red mark, this has to be open because that's their pathway to this pipe. So it has to remain open. But yet they pile stuff there all the time. These two lanes are for cardboard. These two boxes right here and right there, those two for carpet. These two are for plastic. These buggies are for luchador, and then you've got your plastic right there. This is the plastic bags, like the big sausagey looking bags that, they stuff the plastic into the bags. And then these are just the boxes with just, free plastic, free forming. But everything has its own place. So I've been trying to relieve over here and get those boxes out of the way because they don't belong there. This is where the lab goes. I've been trying to keep up with the lint every day I'm in there, so having this many boxes like right here, it just makes the area look worse. So if we could get down to just these, because I mean I do a bale of lint almost like every day I go in now, so and I do maybe 15 bags, which is I mean I did two uh bales today of 15 each. There's like four boxes, but two of them weren't filled all the way. So, but I did two lint, one plastic, or wait, no, two lint, one plastic, one luchador. Yeah, that's right. I did do. I was gonna with the plastic. I was just gonna put as much as I could possibly put in and just like not bail it all and just kind of like leave it in there. But I'm like, there's an off chance that no one goes down there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get it done. And the cardboard, this was pretty much all that was here anyway. This is actually new. These are all the boxes of plastic that I did. That right there, and I put them up there first because I didn't really want anything right there. But then I was like, okay, well, I don't want all these stacked on top of that. So I just kind of started putting. I just forgot to move the ones that were up here down there. So I think I did like 14, 15 boxes of plastic in addition to the 10 bags or so from the box. But even even all of this, there's that, and then for some reason there's like this sitting over here. It's like I'm sorry, was was there not enough room right here? This is what I mean. As you can see, this is what I mean. This is the lack of common sense that people have. You see this? Why could that not have been put over here? So this pile plus this pile plus the cardboard in there plus the cardboard right there, that would be maybe a medium-sized bale at most, if I'm lucky. This is like the random. There's the big ones are on top, but inside it's like the random size cardboard, like you know, Amazon size boxes and stuff like that, or like big pieces like that, but just like ripped, or cut or whatever. Um, like they'll take these boxes and like cut them up and throw them in. So that's and then these right here are maybe like this long, but they're pretty wide. They go like when you put them in, they're like the full, from back to front. I mean, they don't go out to where I can't, but when I crush it down, they kind of like tilt like that way because they're much longer than they should be. And but then when I open the door and just kind of have to push them down so that way I can get the wire through. If not, you're gonna put the wire through and it's just gonna be like against the box, and so it'll be kind of like curved up like that. But yeah, but I got this done, and that's what happens when you have two people. Again, I'm literally the only baler they have, meaning I'm the only one that goes down here and does nothing but bale. 3 shifts, and I'm the only one bailing. So, I've been there for 5 years. When I first got back, I was trying to get more days and more hours. I asked my boss and I said, "Oh, well, I want to be able to work Tuesday, Thursday." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll ask I'll ask my bosses." And then like whenever I saw her again, she was like, "Well, I've talked to them and they said that they don't want you to they don't want to give you any more days." And hours, I'll come in and this was back a couple years ago. I'd go down there and the area would look like crap, and she's like, she said about getting it done. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be here till at least 2, 3 o'clock trying to get it. She's like, no, you clock out at this time. And then if I just kind of stay down there, she'll come down and be like, you're supposed to clock out, finish what you're doing and clock out. So couldn't get more time, couldn't get more hours. So, but then all of a sudden, it's like I'm working with June. And it's like, oh, well, I'm trying to give you more time. It's like, well, why don't you try to give me this more time? What, 2, 3 years ago when I was asking for it? So, but I'm not there Tuesdays and Thursdays. I take care of June. So is it really too much to ask to have someone down there on Tuesdays and Thursdays? But and then today was there's a guy. His name is John, not me. I know some of you guys like to think I am the one and only John, the original. But no, this guy, he was there. They were celebrating his 60th anniversary there. That's right, 60. 60. I've been at this place for 5 years. I can't even imagine, you know, I didn't even think I'd be working there, here this long. 60 years? I can't imagine working for this place for 60 years. I'm going to be dead in 5, so it really doesn't matter in the slightest. But 60 years. And they did some Chick-fil-A thing. Like they gave everyone Chick-fil-A, like the little meals or whatever. I've never been there, so I don't know. I just saw people with the boxes or whatever, so I don't know what that consists of. I just know it's Chick-fil-A. But I was sitting outside and one of the girls came out. She was going to her car and she's like, "Oh, you didn't get yourself any food?" I'm like, "No." Because I hate when companies do that. They try to kind of like bribe you with food. I'm just a simple man. I don't want to be bribed with food. If you want to show someone you appreciate them, your employee that you appreciate them, you listen to them. You know, when you have an employee saying, "Hey, I need help down there because it's a little too much for one person." You don't back talk them and say, "Oh, well, everyone has their own job and no one's going to help you and blah, blah, blah." Or, "Oh, well, down there is extra." No, you freaking hire help. Instead of waiting around and not doing it and then having the factory need, having them send people down. You're the one who hired me. You obviously have the ability to hire more people, but no one wants to stay. You know, like I said, this guy who's been here for 60 years, other people 35, 40 years, 50. My boss can barely get people to stay for a couple months. We just had a girl gone after one day. One day, gone. So, I mean, just in the 3 years I've been back here, it was just, I can't tell you how many people we've gone through. So, I mean, it's a combination of things, but everyone is like, John, you could probably run that place better. Yeah, I probably could. I'd go there and trump the whole place up first. Like, you're fired. Like, that's like first order of business. That's I was talking about this if about winning the lottery, about buying the factory. That's what I would do. I'm the boss now. But that's what I would do. The factory be bigger, it'd be the best. It'd be the biggest factory, it'd be the best factory. I don't even have to do any of the voice or anything, but you know exactly who I'm doing just by the hands things. It's crazy. It's crazy how just hand signs can just tell you exactly who you're copying. It's crazy. You're like, John, you're out trumping Trump. You just see my hair slowly turn blonde. And then it just kind of like turns blonde. You see my face turn orange. It's like a Super Saiyan transformation. Oh my god, it's Trump. Uh, that'd be hilarious. So I went down to Dollar General yesterday and it was closed. There's a sign on the door saying it was like, "Oh, we're temporarily closed. Sorry for the inconvenience." And then I went down there. We after work I went there. It was like 12:30. And then I went down there again at about 2 o'clock, 3. Still closed. Still freaking closed. You know, I can't imagine why no one wants to stay at that store. Ever since that store's been built, I think that store's only, I've been here for like a total of like 8 years. That store's been there for maybe 4 or 5. I can't tell you how many managers have gone through that store. There's so many managers because no one wants to work there. You know, most of the time things are out of stock. You know, go want frozen stuff or this or that, and nothing's ever stocked. Systems are never working, whatever, theft or whatever. And it's like, gee, can't imagine why no one wants to freaking work here for longer than a month. But yeah, I went down there yesterday for cat food. Then I ended up having to go across the way there to the gas station to get it because Dollar General wasn't open. I mean, it was people were in there, obviously, the employees were there, but I just wanted to call them up and say, get your shit together. Get it together. Get it together. Get it together. Get it together. But it's ridiculous. No one wants to stay there. In fact, one of the guys who used to work there worked at the factory. I think his name was Zach. But I remember I first met him, he was sitting there in the office watching the videos that we have to watch. And he was only there for like a week or two. I remember sitting out there waiting for whoever I was waiting for. And he's like scrubbing the windows. All I see is shh, 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 shh. I'm like, so you have a young, able-bodied young man, and you've got him cleaning windows. Is that what he signed up for? Because she has a bad habit of just kind of allocating them wherever she wants them. You know, Sam, strong, young guy. I mean, not young. He's like probably in his 40s. Could be down there. But nope. He's housekeeping. So she once said, she was like, yeah, I'll they'll be wherever I need them. So basically, She hires a woman, they're gonna be housekeeping. Hires a guy, they're gonna be housekeeping. But at least it was nice today. It was. It was like 60 something degrees. It's gorgeous out right now. So, I mean, it's been getting hotter. It's back in like the 80s and like hovering between 80s and 70s. But today was nice. So, actually, yeah. So we've got. It was getting so nice, and now here we are. I mean, this is always subject to change. But we're back right in the early 80s at least, and then. But you can see right here 78, 77, 74, 75. So it's kind of making me think that maybe after this, we're probably getting down to cooler weather, which means we would have only been in the 70s for, well, I mean, we'll be in the 70s still, but the early 70s. Right now we can see we're still in the late 70s. So we'd have only have been in the late, 80s or late 70s for like what, a week and a half before we get down to like the early 70s and late 60s. I'm just tired of the freaking heat. I'm just so tired of it. You know, I'm just so sick of it. I want regular weather. I mean, the only time, right now the weather, the trees are changing, the leaves and all that, but and even though it's still getting darker later, it's still normally by 8 o'clock, it's still light out. No, it's getting dark at like what, 7 o'clock. So I mean, it's definitely because it's definitely fall. But with this, well, I mean, not much. This is what we should be looking like. Well, kind of 60 like this. I mean, they've got 60, in the high 70s, but you want to know what we shouldn't be looking like though? This. This. No one wants weather like this. And I moved from Texas to get away from this kind of weather. But here we are, still pretty much that kind of weather. But not in the 90s, and we're certainly not in the high 80s, but still. It's gonna be October, a couple days. I'm tired of this weather. Anyway, yeah, moral of the story, I'm going to be dead in 5 years, and I don't have to worry about working for this place for 60. So, anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.